Today our group is going to report on the Syria. The wave of Arab confusion that started with the Tunisian revolution in January 2011 reached Syria in mid-March when residents who had put up anti-government graffiti. So what are the reasons behind that caused the people in the country to revolt Syria protests? My group members are Hui, Kim, Lian and me, Michiko. Firstly, I will be reporting on why in Syria are protesting. Secondly, we will be talking about why the government response has been to the protests or those in open revolt. Thirdly, Kim will outline on how social media have been used by protesters or those by protesters. Lastly, Lian will talk about how human rights have been violated. So why did the people protest in Syria? This is not the first atrocities to take place in Syria. Since mass protests began over a year ago, the Syrian government had responded with brutal force and almost 10,000 civilians have been killed. The people in Syria protest because of many reasons. Firstly, the Syria itself, there are high rates of unemployment among youth in Syria, and low wages are the main problem that led the Syrian revolution. Not only has this led to the protests in Syria, the Syrians also demand for freedom of speech. The Syrians have used violence against the protests and enforced censorship over internet connection like YouTube, Google, Yahoo, Facebook, or Twitter. According to the news from Syria, the rate of unemployment of youth in Syria was 24%, while the adult rate was 6%. The 75% of the youth had been hunting for the job over the years. Based on the data in the world, the Syrian government also denies all the requests for the registration of human rights organizations. So basically, we can say the Syrian government is violation its citizen human rights. The leadership of the Syrian National Council, which opposes the Syrian government.
Referring to the information collected from the newspapers, internet, and blogs, we can conclude that the Syrian government has 5 aspects of response to the protesters. The first one is a violent crackdown. Since spring 2011, the Syrian government has developed the Syrian army to curb the unrest. According to various sources, including the United Nations, there has been a figure of up to 19,220 people killed, of which about half was civilians. The second reactions from the government is arrest and convictions. The Syrian authorities have put a large number of people under arrest and convict them of taking part in anti-government rebellion. Those people are mostly political activists and human rights campaigners. There was a very well-known case in which a blogger called Taha Mohai, who actually was a student, was convicted of spying for the United States and arrested on 14th February. She was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison. According to the report from the Amnesty International, in October 2011, at least 30 Syrian dissidents abroad faced intimidation by Syrian embassy, and the government had some of their relatives in Syria detained and tortured. In January 2012, a wanted suspects list was published online by the Syrian Interior Ministry. The names include political dissidents and even some informants for the government. Thirdly, censorship. On 5th February 2011, internet services in Syria were totally curbed. Since 29th July 2011, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter was under variety of throttling. The ban was suggested to be released in order to track down the activists. Not only the media and internet, many social professionals were also under attack, and the harsh censorship. In August 2011, the well-known political cartoonist Ali Fazal was attacked and threatened not to draw any cartoon of government officials, especially President Assad. The fourth reactions from the Syrian government is they were organizing rallies in support of the Assad government. There have been a large number of people rallying in support of the Assad government since the uprising started, and the population is increasing. However, according to the Guardian's report on 22nd March 2011, those pro-Assad rallies were mostly organized by the Syrian authorities to quell the unrest. Because, as shown by the result of the online poll conducted by the YouGov institution, the Doha debates, the results showed that sampled 97 online users, 55% of Syrians does not want Assad to the concessions made by the government. Under domestic and international pressure, the president of Syria, Assad, announced a series of reforms in an attempt to end the long-term conflict. He shortened the length of mandatory army conscription and freed some political prisoners. He also promised to lift the emergency.
Hi, I'm going to talk about the social media in Syria. Social media plays a crucial role in protests in Syria. I can easily say, without social media networks, there would be no uprising in Syria. In the world, Facebook and YouTube are two major internet social media in our lives. We cannot do without those two media. The significance of social media for protesters in Syria is similar as that in our social. In July of 2011, there was a protest in Aleppo, which is the second largest city in Syria. It was completely coordinated and organized by Syrian Revolution page on Facebook. On the other hand, the Syrian government is preventing any independent media from entering into Syria. Basically, social media does two jobs. The first one is organizing. Activists are willing to use social media to organize demonstrations. There are some protest groups on the Facebook. They would give the location and the time of the protest. However, many hackers who work for the government will discover the information that announced by activists about the demonstration and then send police to arrest. Thus, word of mouth and the instant message are more commonly used by protesters, as those methods are hard to track. Secondly, broadcasting the revolution. Generally, social media websites on the internet are the only path for activists to get information out of the country and broadcast events. For example, according to Reuters report, Amar is a journalist who regularly attends protests in Damascus suburb. In his spare time, Amar makes short films on his laptop using footage he finds on YouTube of police firing on protesters. He hopes the videos will help to keep interest in Syria high as unrest draws out into the summer months. Therefore, social media is indispensable for letting people know what happens in Syria. This is the end of my part.
Hi, basically today I'm here to talk about if the human rights of protesters in Syria have been violated. So basically, after all the research done, my group feels that the human rights of protesters in Syria have been violated because, according to statistics by the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, the Syrian government's violent response to protests since mid-March has left over 5,400 people dead as of 10th January 2012, this including at least 300 children. And moreover, thousands of more have been wounded, arrested, tortured, and disappeared, as protesters and their families within and outside Syria have been targeted. And what more that we have found is that sources from within Syria report that there were consistent of artillery fire against unarmed citizens, door-to-door arrest campaigns, the shooting of medical personnel who attempt to aid the wounded, raids against hospitals, clinics and mosques, and the purposeful destruction of medical supplies and arrest of medical personnel. And in addition to this, over 10,000 refugees fled the country since March, many to either Lebanon or to Turkey, as noted from the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights Commission. So, in conclusion, my group would like to say that yes, indeed, the human rights of Syria have been violated because, as we can see from all the evidence and all the statistics provided from different sources, be it from the UN or from Syria itself, that innocent humans and citizens in Syria, they have been harmed and arrested and treated so badly and unjustly by the government, even though they have not done actual harm to anyone or hurt anyone. They were just protesting there. And so, yeah, we have come to the conclusion that the human rights of protesters in Syria have been violated. Thank you.